Hi everyone, and welcome back to our podcast, where we help you improve your English skills and boost your confidence. I'm Sarah.
And I'm John. Today we're discussing common English mistakes that non-native speakers often make and how you can avoid them. Whether it's grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, or usage errors, we've got you covered.
Let's dive right in with some typical grammar mistakes. One of the most common errors is the misuse of verb tenses. For example, saying, I go to the store yesterday, instead of I went to the store yesterday.
Absolutely, Sarah. The key to mastering verb tenses is to practice and understand the context in which they're used. For instance, the past simple tense is used for actions that happened and finished in the past. So remember, I went is correct for past actions.
Another common mistake is the incorrect use of prepositions. For example, saying, I'm good in English, instead of I'm good at English.
Prepositions can be tricky because they don't always translate directly from your native language. The best way to learn them is through exposure and practice. Remember, we say good at when referring to skills and abilities.
Moving on to vocabulary mistakes, one error we often see is confusing words that sound similar but have different meanings, like affect and effect.
That's right. Affect is a verb meaning to influence something, while effect is a noun meaning the result of a change. A simple trick to remember this is affect is an action, effect is an end result.
Another vocabulary mistake is using incorrect word forms, like saying he is a good cooker instead of he is a good cook.
Exactly. A cook is someone who prepares food, while cooker is a device used for cooking. Paying attention to word forms and their correct usage is crucial for clear communication.
Let's talk about pronunciation mistakes next. A common error is mispronouncing the th sound, as in think or this. Many learners replace it with an S or Z sound.
Yes, and this can change the meaning of words. To practice the th sound, place your tongue between your teeth and blow air out gently. It takes practice, but you'll get it with time.
Another pronunciation issue is the silent letters in English, like the K in night or the B in lamb. These can be confusing for learners.
A good tip is to listen to native speakers and mimic their pronunciation. Over time, you'll get used to which letters are silent in different words.
Now, let's move on to usage errors. A common mistake is using a and an incorrectly. For example, saying an apple instead of an apple.
The rule here is simple. Use a before words that start with a consonant sound and an before words that start with a vowel sound. So it's a book and an orange.
Another usage error is confusing much and many. For example, saying I have much friends instead of I have many friends.
Much is used with uncountable nouns and many is used with countable nouns. So it's much water and many friends.
Great points, John. Another common mistake is mixing up your and your. For example, saying you're welcome instead of you're welcome.
That's a classic mistake. Your is a possessive adjective, meaning something belongs to you, while your is a contraction of you are. So, your book is correct and you're going to the store is correct.
Let's talk about double negatives. For example, saying, I don't need no help, instead of I don't need any help.
Double negatives can be confusing. In English, two negatives make a positive, so I don't need no help actually means you do need help. Stick with, I don't need any help.
Another tricky area is the use of articles. For instance, saying she is best singer instead of she's the best singer.
Yes, articles a, an, and the are important. A and an are used for general things, while the is used for specific things. So, she is a singer, but she is the best singer.
Moving on to subject-verb agreement. A common mistake is saying he go to school instead of he goes to school.
This is crucial. Singular subjects take singular verbs and plural subjects take plural verbs. So, he goes and they go.
Another point is the use of comparatives and superlatives. For example, saying she's more taller than him instead of she's taller than him.
Comparatives like taller are used when comparing two things, and superlatives like tallest are used for more than two. So, she is taller than him and she is the tallest in the class.
Let's also address the common error of using who and whom incorrectly. For example, saying, "Who did you speak to?" instead of "Whom did you speak to?"
Who is used as a subject and whom is used as an object. So, who called you? And to whom did you speak?
Pronoun agreement is another area where mistakes happen. For example, saying, "Everyone should bring their book," instead of "Everyone should bring his or her book."
Correct pronoun agreement is essential. Everyone is singular, so the pronoun should be his or her rather than their.
Now, let's summarise with 5 vocabulary words from our conversation. Verb tense, a grammatical category that locates a situation in time. Sentence, mastering verb tenses is essential for clear communication. Preposition, a word used to show the relationship between a noun and another word. Sentence, the correct preposition to use is good at, not good in. Pronunciation, the way in which a word is spoken. Sentence, correct pronunciation of "the" can be challenging but is important. Silent letters, letters that are written but not pronounced. Sentence, in the word night, the K is a silent letter. Countable nouns, nouns that can be counted. Sentence, friends is a countable noun, so we use many with it.
And now for our grammar lesson. Today, let's talk about subject-verb agreement. It's essential to match your subject with the correct form of the verb. For example, he goes is correct while he go is not.
To ensure subject-verb agreement, always remember that singular subjects take singular verbs and plural subjects take plural verbs. For example, "She runs every day" is correct, while "she run every day" is not.
Another tip is to be careful with subjects that come after the verb in questions. For example, does he like coffee is correct while do we like coffee is not.
A good practice is to read sentences out loud to see if they sound correct. Often our ears can catch mistakes that our eyes might miss.
Also, remember to check for agreement in more complex sentences. For example, the list of items is on the table is correct, while the list of items are on the table is not.
Another common mistake is with collective nouns. For example, saying "the team are winning" instead of "the team is winning."
Collective nouns refer to a group that acts as a single entity, so they take a singular verb. Therefore, "the team is winning" is correct.
And let's not forget about indefinite pronouns such as everyone, someone, nobody, which are always singular. For example, "everyone needs to bring their book" should be "everyone needs to bring his or her book."
Exactly. It's important to pay attention to the subject to ensure the verb agrees with it.
Now, let's give some tips on how to improve and avoid these common mistakes. Practice is key, but there are other strategies you can use as well.
One effective method is to immerse yourself in English as much as possible. Surround yourself with the language by watching movies, listening to music, and reading books in English.
Another tip is to keep a language journal. Write down new words and phrases you learn, along with their correct usage. This will help reinforce your learning.
Speaking with native speakers is also incredibly beneficial. If you can, join language exchange groups or find a language partner to practice with.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Each mistake is an opportunity to learn and improve. The more you practice, the better you will get.
Using language apps and online resources can also be very helpful. Many of these tools offer exercises and quizzes to help you practice grammar and vocabulary.
Let's not forget about grammar books and guides. They provide clear explanations and examples that can help you understand difficult concepts.
And remember to review regularly. Go back to previous lessons and notes to keep the information fresh in your mind.
Now, let's try some example sentences to correct common mistakes. John, how about we start with verb tense errors?
Sure, Sarah. Here's an incorrect sentence. She goes to the gym every day. The correct sentence is she goes to the gym every day.
Great. Now, here's another one. They was at the party last night. The correct sentence is they were at the party last night.
Excellent. Let's do one more. I saw that movie before. The correct sentence is I have seen that movie before.
Moving on to prepositions, here's an incorrect sentence. He is interested for music. The correct sentence is he is interested in music.
Good one, Sarah. Another example, she is afraid from spiders. The correct sentence is she is afraid of spiders.
Now, let's tackle some vocabulary mistakes. Here's an incorrect sentence. She is very sympathetic. The correct sentence is, she is very sympathetic.
And another one, he made a big fault. The correct sentence is, he made a big mistake.
Great job, John. Now for pronunciation, practice saying these pairs of words: sink and think, zoo and this.
Also, remember to practice silent letters. Say these words, night, lamb, and debt.
Now, let's go over some usage errors. Here's an incorrect sentence. She doesn't likes coffee. The correct sentence is, she doesn't like coffee.
And another one, they has a new car. The correct sentence is, they have a new car.
To wrap up, let's talk about some advanced tips for avoiding common mistakes. One method is to pay attention to context. Understanding the context of a conversation or text can help you choose the correct words and grammar.
Another tip is to read widely in English. Different genres and styles of writing will expose you to various vocabulary and grammatical structures.
Writing essays or short stories in English can also help. This will give you a chance to practice constructing sentences and using grammar correctly.
Using flashcards to remember difficult words and phrases can also be very effective. You can review them regularly to reinforce your learning.
And lastly, don't be afraid to ask for feedback. Whether it's from a teacher, a friend, or a language partner, constructive criticism can help you improve.
And remember, making mistakes is a natural part of learning. Don't be discouraged. Use your mistakes as learning opportunities.
Absolutely. Every mistake you correct brings you one step closer to fluency. That's all for today's episode.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with your friends and leave us a review. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.